Why not?
Do you get to pick your own method of death, or do you think they have a standardized one?
They have a standardized one. It's lethal injection.
But what if I wanted to die by firing squad? Because I bet that would be way less painful.
Yeah, I've heard lethal injections. Why is lethal injection painful? It shouldn't be.
From the movies I've seen, it often goes wrong when a bad murderer puts the wrong chemicals in there.
What
I saw
really
that in
goes
Law-Abiding
wrong?
Citizen, which is a great movie, by the way.
The issue with the electric chair is that half the time you just give them superpowers based on the movies that I've seen.
Yeah.
Now I'm the shocker. Fuck.
Two in the pink, one in the stink.
I never run out of batteries. Yeah, I
dude.
think
But if you're gonna get killed, name a better one than firing squad.
hanging.
Guillotine.
Hanging? Are you serious?
I don't think you know what hanging.
There?
You're wrong about how hanging works, though. You're thinking of strangling. There's a whole mathematical equation that you use to hang someone properly, and you factor in the
I just don't know that they used it in the Old West, or certainly
They
old
did. They absolutely
lynching
did.
guys.
Well, the lynching guys were criminals just hanging people on the streets, often African Americans. The term lynch came from a guy whose last name was Lynch. They bring him into plantations where they had trouble with keeping their slaves in line, and he would lynch one of them. They'd take one of these black people out, and they'd torture him publicly, castrate and beat him to death, hang him.
That was based on one guy named Lynch?
One guy named
The
Mr. Lynch.
castrating feels over the top.
That's what they said. And so what they would do to hang people properly, though, in the Wild West, and this is why you had to have a hangman. You might think, well, shit, anybody could do that job. No, there's a little bit of math, and in the Wild West, literacy itself was asking a lot. So you factor in the weight of the individual and the length of the rope, and there's a very specific equation, because what you don't want to do is have the person fall and not have their neck break, and then they strangle. It takes a long time to strangle to death, because it doesn't necessarily cut off the blood. It's not like a rear naked choke. It's strangling their airway, their trachea, often crushing it. It could take a couple minutes to die.
It's a guillotine choke, yeah.
In front of everybody. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you could fall if the person had gained a lot of weight in jail, which was the case in one instance that was written about a lot. They had done the math based on like the weight that was written down when he checked into the jailhouse, but living on jailhouse food and sleeping in one little
sedentary lifestyle
that you live in a Wild West jail, he'd gained about 50. And so when they dropped him, his head popped off. And you don't want the kids to be seeing that.
But
they came here to see a good old-fashioned execution, not a decapitation.
As the criminal, popping a head off, not the worst thing.
Well, you want the neck to break, because then you're just instantly dead.
I'm sure it broke.
Oh, it broke.
Do you really die instantly?
Yes, if they break the neck, you're
are all
severing
those spasms just like
I
remnant
think popping the
charges?
head off is the guaranteed way.
It's all the nervous system just firing and doing crazy stuff. You know, it's your body's.
I'm still taking firing squad, dude. I would much prefer one bullet
it's up there.
through the brain.
Oh, they don't shoot you there. They don't shoot you there.
Where do
they
they
shoot
shoot
you in the
me?
heart.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well, my mind's been changed.
You know what's a bad way to die? Woody with a machete. It takes a couple of blows.
I would never want to go out Henrietta style. But what if the firing squad, you let them walk in way further and it's just like barrel to the dome?
But they're not going to aim at your head no matter how close they get. There's literally a bullseye over your heart, and I believe there's 7 shooters, but only 6 have bullets. And
did you know that part?
I always thought it was only 1 had a bullet, not
that's
6.
false. That would be very difficult to.
Yeah, you put a lot of pressure on it, guy. No,
it missed.
They're just
got it. Hey.
This sucks. Well, he survived, so you're
the
free
fact
to go.
that one has a blank gives all of them like plausible deniability. They don't know if they've even killed a guy.
They know, but they don't. But nobody else knows.
You can tell from the kick, right?
You can tell from the kick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same amount of powder in the blank.
Doesn't matter about the powder. It's the projectile coming out. Yeah, it's the projectile. The blanks, they just crimp the end of the brass down, kind of like what I'm doing with my fingers. That's the best way I know to describe it. And so when it fires, the crimp just goes and releases fire out. And a blank has no recoil. It's loud, but like no noticeable recoil. The recoil is really from the bullet leaving the barrel.
Have you
now that I know that
blank?
6 out of the 7 are shooting,
Yeah.
it still seems like the best option. Like 6 bullets to the heart right here, like even in this general region, not even straight to the heart, you're dead instantly.
Have you had
wasn't
surgery? Like
Only on my nose.
Yeah,
oh,
same.
that might be enough. Yeah, so I've had a bunch of surveys. I remember my most recent one, not that long ago. So, they put you out all the way. There's no bad memory. There's no nothing. I don't know why lethal injection would be painful at all.
I agree. I've always wanted the same thing. Like I feel like the execution method should be laughing gas until you're unconscious, and then let somebody hit you in the head with a hammer a few times, right? Like what the fuck difference does it
Yeah,
make?
everyone knows I'm a big fan of that I never pronounce it. Propofol, the Michael Jackson drug.
Yeah. I think it may be propofol.
Anyway, they usually start off with that. And once that kicks in, all the other things they do are agreeable.
Take a wild guess. When do you think the last execution by firing squad was in the United States?
2002.
Well, that's wildly lately. So, strike one.
I'm gonna go.
I wanted to do that thing where like someone asks you like, imagine how big the biggest star is, and I'm like, I don't know, 2 billion miles across, and they're like, well, it's really big, but damn it,
That's literally what you just did. It's so shitty.
I'm gonna say 1944, like World War II time.
I want to. My guess is, and it's not. It's kind of an educated guess because I've read the story a bunch of times, but I think it was like 72. So let me look it up. 72, somewhere in there.
I think Taylor was actually closer, maybe.
Last execution
30 years? No,
by
I was.
firing squad.
Math is hard.
It was 61. It was Ronnie Lee Gardner. He was an American criminal who received the death penalty for shooting a man in the face and killing him during a robbery. And
he was executed by firing squad June 18th, 2010.
What the fuck?
2010?
He was born in 61. Oh shit! They shot this dude 9 years ago.
Taylor won. Taylor won.
Yeah.
In
Dude, by
Utah.
Price is Right rules, I win that one.
Any rules?
Holy
I don't know any
shit.
rule set where 1944 beats you.
God. Okay.
2010. What was I doing in 2010? About the same shit. It was Dig instead of Reddit. But
Hell, they were using modern guns. I mean,
it was probably still
everybody's
Reddit.
got their AR-15 or something. That's pretty fucked.
Yeah,
That's
it
pretty
looks
fucked.
like all the ones now are lethal injection, electric chair, gas chamber, hanging, firing squad, and
Mangler.
Tennessee execution. I don't know.
Well, you
Oh
don't
no, that's
want
just
to know.
another electric chair. Yeah. Firing
Yeah.
squad is an alternative method of execution in 3 states: Mississippi,
Yeah.
Oklahoma, and Utah. And it most recently happened in Utah 9 years ago.
And
then you've got
hint. A Tennessee
chamber.
execution requires a 4x4.
What happens in a gas chamber? Do you just fall asleep?
No, you don't just fall asleep. You're sitting you're attached to a chair that looks like an electric chair, and underneath it there's this like bucket of one chemical, and then there's this mechanism that like upturns another little ladle like device, and it drops in some like sodium cyanide tablet, and it makes like cyanide gas that you slowly watch like come up over your body like a fucking haunted house death machine.
Can't they do that? Can't they just have like a running car with a hose on the exhaust outside?
You know what's
and
stupid?
Bring that in.
Me, because not knowing how gas chambers worked, but kind of knowing that in World War II they did it to Jewish people with fake showers, I assumed that other gas chambers were similar. Like, yeah, they probably stood around with like a tile room, and I'm guessing it didn't come from shower heads, but you know, like something like a shower head.
Dude, that's gotta be terrifying to sit in a chair strapped up and you see the way you said it, Kyle, the rising gas coming up like that. That sounds awful.
Well, what if it's not awful? What if like it starts off with I don't know, like a little put you to sleep in good mood effect and works its way to death?
It does.
That wouldn't be as bad, but like there's a reason that people kill themselves by starting their car in the garage. Like the monoxide poisoning apparently just knocks you out and then you're dead, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just do that? That seems easy.
Because it would take a very long time. Since people would be waking up and shit. Like
Oh, does it take a long time to die that way?
Yeah. It takes. They go unconscious in maybe 10 minutes, but then like if you get to them within 30 minutes, an hour, they want to get this thing done.
So it's like a time thing.
We all got places to be, Taylor.
Hey, the family's here and they're wanting to hit Hooters before they have to head back to Sacramento. So let's get to it, boys.
Man, the death penalty is so fucked. I am so against the death penalty.
Are you?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Doesn't make
I
sense.
don't trust the state to not make mistakes when it matters. Like, we already know that people have died innocently, and the only reason that it's more expensive to keep them on death row is because of all the intense litigation. That's it. That's the reason, and the cost the state has to pay for it.
Yeah, that. Like I'm for it in these in this fake world that we don't live in. Like, all right,
Yeah.
okay. First of all, I want you to be double dog sure, right?
Yeah.
Can we codify that into law? Double dog sure. And second, it's got to be quick and inexpensive because that's part of the motivation. So double dog sure, and don't waste a lot of money. This is actually a great plan.
Yeah.
I don't have any sympathy for these people if they're.
I think
No,
we
of course
agree. Yeah, I think we all agree that there are people that need to die.
Yeah.
Right. Like we agree on that. What we can agree on is the method and the system in which we ensure that only the people that need to die get died, and that nobody who doesn't need to die, or is even worse, innocent, ends up getting died.